Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is a revisit of a deck that I played about a month and a half ago on the channel, and this is Urza Prison. So this is a deck that was originally sent to me by someone who wishes to only be known as a resident of Seattle. So Seattle sent me this deck that's basically the Urza Echo shell, but instead of comboing with Echo of Eons and Lion's Eye Diamond, you're locking people out with Tangle Wire and Winter Orb, which is kind of a dirty juke, because when you see things like Mishra's Bauble and Urza and etc., you think you're going to be comboed, but surprise, it's Tangle Wire and you're dead. This deck was a lot of fun to play, and the video did extremely well, but there was some tragic timing involved, and that was, I recorded the deck right before Modern Horizons 2 preview season was really up and running, and I released the deck like the day Modern Horizons 2 was legal. So Urza Saga was not in this Urza Prison deck, and Urza Saga is exactly the kind of card that should have been in this Urza Prison deck. So Seattle has me revisiting this deck once again with the Urza Saga update. So things that I learned from the first iteration of the deck. The deck was kind of built around Winter Orb. Like the plan was you have 4 Winter Orbs, you play them, you use Urza to break mana parity, you use Soul Lands and Mox Opal to break mana parity. Your opponent's stuck under Winter Orb while you could do whatever you want. And there's a cool interaction where you can tap Winter Orb for blue with Urza in your opponent's end step, and then you get to untap all your lands, and they don't. Because Winter Orb only works when it's untapped, because it's from Alpha, and that's how cards worked back then. So this version, I added the 4 Urza Sagas, and I did not cut lands to do this, because Urza Saga doesn't really count as a land the way that you need it to in a deck full of 4-drops. Like, all of these things are really important. The Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, you need to be able to cheese mana forward. Urza Saga plays much more like a spell, and you should treat it as such. I'm down to 1 Winter Orb in the main, and I have a second one in the sideboard that Karn the Great Creator can wish for if we want it. The reason I came so far off of this Winter Orb plan is A, because we had to make room for Urza Saga, and B, because Winter Orb just doesn't line up with Legacy very well right now. When you're playing against any deck with Ragavan in it, or Delver, or, like, decks are low to the ground right now. They're trying to get you dead, and Winter Orb is terrible in those sort of matchups. Winter Orb thrives in control matchups that are going to go 9, 10, 15 turns, and your opponent wants to use their mana every turn. Pretty good in like Death and Taxes where they want to Rashad and port you every turn. But against the format at large, it just doesn't line up well. It's bad against every combo deck. So having 4 of that card in the main deck last time, it frequently ended up being a dead draw or a bad draw, or just not really doing anything even if I stuck it. Shave down on that original plan, but still have access to it if I want it. The rest of the stuff, still right where you left it. Tangle Wire is a card that I hadn't played with in probably 5 or 6 years until recently, and then I recorded 2 leagues with it, both this Urza Prison deck and a Mono White Stacks deck, and Tangle Wire was nuts in both. Just this card, basically 3 time walks, like 3 mana artifact, fading 4. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player taps an untapped artifact, creature, or land they control for each fade counter on Tangle Wire. So you play this thing, opponent immediately has to tap 4 of their permanents in their upkeep. Just as soon as you pass the turn, boom, all your stuff's tapped. Then you get to your turn. It fades down to 3, and it can tap itself. So you really only have to tap 2 things, and they just had to tap 4. And then on the next turn, you only have to tap 1 thing, and they have to tap 3. And then when this is eventually out of juice, you can use Emery, throw it back into play. Just do it again. Unlimited time walks. I locked a few people out of that. We beat a Merit Lage, we beat a Progenitus by just tapping it and winning around it in the previous league, and I hope we get some similar experiences here today. As far as the Urza Saga Chapter 3 goes, I have a very light package here. There's Lotus Petal, Mishra's Bauble, and Mox Opal, and that's it. The deck is a Chalice deck on its surface, so you can't really have 1-drops in here because they're really bad to draw and you have no way to put them back in the deck. And Chalice is a pretty important part of the deck because you'll notice that the only other disruptive element is Tangle Wire, and then you're just jamming 4-drops. So you really count on your Chalice and you can't have dead cards under it. But I think that Urza Saga making 2 giant monsters and then either drawing a card or keep replacing the mana you lost when the land died is going to be good enough. I don't think we need a robust tutor package for that. Karn is already our robust tutor package if we want it. So those are my thoughts on that one. Speaking of thoughts, I put one thought monitor in the sideboard to wish for with Karn, because I think that's a sweet one. That card also didn't exist at the time, but sometimes you run out of gas with this deck, or you play Karn with like 5 mana, and that's not enough to really do anything, but this is like kind of a 1-drop you can wish for that keeps the action going. And if I ever get to cast this off Emery, I'm just going to do a victory lap around the room. So Thought Monitor, fun of one of in the deck, and then the 4 Urza Saga. Those are the upgrades. Let's go be a prison deck. I'm on the play against a Yorion deck of some variety. Yorion decks could be Death and Taxes, could just be, you know, nothing. So I think I'm going to lead on Urza Saga, because with Ancient Tomb, you can start making constructs on turn 2. And if they have a Wasteland, I would prefer they point it at Urza Saga to Ancient Tomb, given the way that my deck plays. Alright, Birds of Paradise is what they have. Basic Forest, Birds of Paradise. Not sure what this deck is yet, but that's okay. We're going to start constructing. So if I make a construct now, and then make one on my upkeep, and then tutor up Mox Opal, that does replace itself mana-wise. I wonder if this is my 5-color zoo deck we're playing against. I don't think I had a Basic Forest in that deck, though. The 5-color zoo deck was awesome, though. If you haven't seen it, go check out that league. Alright, so they're fetching in my upkeep. Unclear why so far. Alright, Emery's here. That's a good one. That's something I can do with my mana. I'm going to tutor up an Opal. I want to make sure I have lots of mana to do stuff with. This grows my construct. Here comes Emery. And then I can start locking them out with Tangle Wire next turn and just tempo them with the constructs in the meantime. It's pretty telling that my hand has Urza and Karn in it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to play Tangle Wire. Oh, I milled a Tangle Wire with Emery as well. Dirty stuff. Dirty, dirty stuff. End step, Icefang Quaddle, untap Flooded Strand. Just hope I'm not getting like combo killed. Oh shit, I am getting combo killed. Damn it. I tried. Cavern Harpy. Okay, so they can draw 14 cards here. And see where it goes. Maybe they'll miss. They are playing an 80-card deck. Alright, they're not going to miss. I was, in fact, combo killed. If I knew they were a combo deck, I would have played Tangle Wire instead of making the second construct. Bummer. If I drew a land, I could have done both. Alright, yeah, I'm dead. Alright, alright. I was so excited. That start was insane, though. Like, that is a pretty good proof of concept of what it looks like when you have 10 power in play and then cast 3 time walks. Alright. So, gotta beat Orlurin somehow. Winter Orb will probably be reasonable against them. Walking Ballista is good if I just sit that in play. That is something that makes it hard for them to win. Spyglass also is good against them, but I think wishing for it's going to be better than just putting it in the deck. So Spyglass is my wish target that disrupts Orlurin, and then Ballista is my card I'm boarding in that disrupts Orlurin. I think Sai is probably kind of bad. And the rest of these cards all don't do anything. I could bring in the Thought Monitor just as velocity, but I don't think the game's necessarily going to go that long. Alright, I'm playing this. This is my deck. I don't have any sphere effects, like Trinisphere, Sphere of Resistance, which is how artifact decks would actually do well against Orlurin. Ooh, can't keep this one. All dressed up, nowhere to go. This one's pretty good. I will keep this and send Winter Orb to the bottom, probably. I did just say that's a good card. Is that even true? So what does this game look like? So I go Urza Saga, Bauble, City of Traders, make a construct, then the following turn, tutor up, Bauble. Where does my Chalice come in here? I think the Winter Orb is actually the worst card, though that could lock them out of Aloran for a couple turns. Like, I basically don't have a path to put this Chalice into play until much later. Alright, I'm gonna bottom the Chalice. Like, if this was Ancient Tomb and not City of Traders, I would turn 1 the Chalice and just set up the Saga for later. But that is not the case. And I can't play this hand if I lose my land along the way. Like, denying their mana creatures is somewhat relevant. Yep, there's a Hierarch. I'm not going to bobble. Not yet. Karn is a powerful creature, or a powerful spell. Yeah, I think I need to leave my bobble in play, so Opal is on. It's not even guaranteed that Opal is on. Alright, so I definitely need my bobble then. There's Uro, so they are ramping here. Alright, so how do I guess I get to see a draw step. I just basically am hoping for like Lotus Petal. They're fetching in my upkeep again. Still unclear why. Oh, drew Lotus Petal, easy money. Okay, so I can't make another construct. I can float colorless mana and get my tutor for Mox Opal, play Lotus Petal, and then blue 1-2, play the island, Sac City, Urza with 1 floating. Urza's in, float blue, play Winter Orb, and now we tempo. In I go. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so they're probably gonna have 3 mana next turn. Oh wait, no, I can't count. They have 4. They could just Allure me anyway. God, why am I a dummy? Okay, they don't seem to have it. Alright, we get to go to my turn. Chalice of the Void. I could just Chalice on 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm 1 short of chalicing for 4. I can, however, cast Karn. See what happens. Karn the Great Creator is on the stack. And they either don't have Aloran or don't have anything to do with it yet. So I can afford to tap the orb because they only have 1 land tapped anyway. Alright, I'm gonna wish for Sorcerous Spyglass. I'm gonna name Cavern Harpy. I grab the Spyglass, and I'm gonna play Chalice on 0, which is normally really bad for my deck, but I need a Mox Sapphire. And this also puts lethal on board, so they have to block with Noble Hierarch. Okay, 1, 2, Spyglass. Get a look at their hand. I'm probably going to name Cavern Harpy, like, no matter what's in their hand. Arctic Merfolk. Okay, you may return. Okay, so they don't actually need Cavern Harpy. So I think I'm just going to name Flooded Strand. Is that... Yeah, like, if they draw a Lauren, they just have this. Yeah, does this circumvent Cavern Harpy? Oh, no, it doesn't, because kick or return a creature you control. It doesn't return itself. Okay, so I am going to name Cavern Harpy. Alright, yeah, that Arctic Merfolk is in the Dreamstalker slot, not the Cavern Harpy slot. It's one of these things you have to do when you have... Alright, so they do have 3 snow permanents and an Ice Fang Quaddle, so Urza's not attacking. My constructs are, though. Alright, Quaddle's in. Put you to 6. And they're dead to Lattice next turn. So need there to be a next turn. They could Uro here at the very least. Just fetch Uro, gain some life. It's kind of what I'm rooting for, because the alternative is Aloran. Please cast Uro. I'm begging you. Put Uro on the stack. Alright. Good. Because I'm pretty sure they have Spyglass beat. They play Recruiter of the Guard, get like Rexage, or, you know, something that removes Spyglass, and then they Arctic Merfolk, pick up Recruiter of the Guard, recruit for Cavern Harpy, then they're off. So yeah, we were dead if they had a Lauren. Alright, they've tapped all their land super low, so here is my wish for... I guess they can't get Lattice here, because Birds of Paradise can just attack for 1 with Exalted. So I think this is a Thought Monitor situation. Beep boop. There it is. Let's monitor some thoughts. Nice. Alright, so Tangle Wire should shut it down here. This is already lethal. I don't think I need to play pre-combat Tangle Wire. Not sure if there's a reason not to, though. Alright, cool. Found a Tangle Wire in the bin. And mash. Yeah, I don't want them to know about Tangle Wire because I want them to block thinking that they have options that they don't actually have. And then 1, 2, 3, Tangle. 3 time walks. Winter Orbs in play. And they packed it up. Okay. So that game came down to them having Aloran or not. Like, that was literally it. Like, if they had the card their deck's named after, they would have won that game. Even through my meager disruption. Tangle Wire is the best card in my deck. Winter Orb was actually pretty good there. I don't think I want Ley Lines. We've seen Uro, but whatever. It is weird to me to put 20 extra cards in a deck that's named after a card. Like, normally if your deck is called, like, Aloran, you don't want 20 more cards diluting your ability to draw Aloran. Like, Sneak and Show would never be a Yorion deck. You want your Sneak, you want your Show. That's the whole game. I'm going to keep this because it's pretty disruptive. It sucks that we're on the draw and we're not going to be able to clip Mana Dorks with this Chalice of the Void. But I think Tangle Wire will do a lot of the catch-up. Right, so I can play my Bauble and Chalice. Chalice on 1. There's that. Hope for the best. I think I do want a Bauble here. Though that takes Mox Opal out as a live draw. Yeah, but I'd rather draw a card. Let's see what you got. Drawing Windswept Teeth. And they have Grist the Hunger Tide. Jeez. That's pretty good against Tangle Wire. Drew Ancient Tomb. That's good. So I can go City, Tomb. This can destroy Planeswalkers, right? Destroy target creature or Planeswalker if you sack a creature. Yeah, I can. Okay. Well, I'm still playing Karn. I took the opportunity that I did to get on board because... Oh, now you have Force of Will in your deck. Alright, yeah, Grist is going to outmuscle the Tangle Wire. It's going to outmuscle everything I'm doing. Like, this is actually just a nightmare. So they milled Ukima, who is one of the win conditions of the deck. I don't think that's going to matter much long term, but I hope it hurts at least a little. So Tangle Wire hurts me more than it hurts them at this point. So I gotta focus on getting Urza into play and outmuscling somehow. Like, I'm gonna have to Karn combo them. I mean, they can use Grist to kill Emery. They can also use Grist the following turn to kill Urza. But I have 2 Urzas, so that's actually a reasonable way to work through this. And the Aloran is always looming, of course. Yorion, okay, that doesn't actually do anything. It's just a 4/5. I mean, which is not nothing. A 4/5 matters when I've tapped Ancient Tomb every turn this game. Right, Cavern on Artificer. The only creatures in my deck are a Merfolk Wizard and 2 Human Artificers. So Human and Artificer are the same, and Merfolk is also the same. So there's that. And then if I Tangle Wire, do I just lose to it? Probably. Like, they tap 4 things. Probably they're 4 lands. They get to keep Yorion. That taps my Construct. So I think I need to do something here. Like, I do need to pressure them in some kind of way. Like, I can tap Tangle Wire, Mishra's Bauble, Chalice of the Void on my upkeep, and I'm not really set that far back by the Tangle. They're just tapping their lands. They're trying to cheese me out here. It's probably going to work. Ancient Tomb's done a lot of work, and this 4/5 body is significant. A Karn off the top wishing for Thought Monitor blocks Yorion for a turn. They're doing the Grist thing. Probably sacking their Insect to kill Urza, would be my guess. Yep. As predicted, so it shall be. Oh, prismatic ending too. Wow. Harsh. Okay, so I want to fade before I tap. Then I'm going to tap this, this, and this. And draw for turn. Alright, I did draw Karn. Is there a 2-turn line here? So I can basically go to 2 to get Urza into play. And then try to Karn next turn. It's need there to be a next turn. I have to pressure Grist in the meantime. So Grist finally can't kill something. They have 1 card left in their hand. Oh, this is a tight one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 artifacts, so some like 0 drop is my best draw. I guess Ensnaring Bridge. Can I play that? Alright, so fading first, and then tap Chalice and Wire. Oh wait, no. Tap Ancient Tomb. I can't play that anyway. Can't tap that one anyway. That's a freebie. Almost gave up a mana there. Okay, I drew the 0 drop I was looking for, so does it actually help? Karn costs, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can put Thought Monitor into play, but Grist can just kill it, then they attack for 4. I think I'm a mana short of Ensnaring Bridge. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah, mana short of Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, I'm just gonna get cheesed out by Yorion. And Thought Monitor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cost 2. I can play the Thought Monitor. I guess that does at least draw 2 cards, which is better than anything else I'm doing. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, Karn. Oh, their last 2 cards were Force Blue card. All right, we're dead. GG's. The 4/5 Yorion actually probably won them this game. The other Grist was really good too. Yeah, their draw lined up really well. They don't need to be in a Lauren deck when they're just a really solid 4-color control deck. So GG's opponent. I was never quite able to prison them. I'm on the play with another Saga start. I'm gonna keep. Now the question is, do I want to lead on Saga and commit to doing construct stuff, or do I want to set up like an Emery and... Alright, forget it. Saga stuff. Urza Saga Ancient Tomb on the play is just... There are a lot of draws out of a lot of decks that just can't beat that. And again, like I said in round 1, if they do have Wasteland, I would prefer it hit this Urza Saga over Ancient Tomb. We got a Volcanic Island and a Ponder. It could be Blue-Red Delver, Sneak and Show, some Miracles deck, but Miracles tend to be banned these days, not Jeskai. They did not shuffle. Okay. Another Seat of the Synod. That's pretty good. That'll ramp up my constructs and also turn on the Mox Opal that I'm going to tutor for. Just hope I don't get Show and Tell too hard this turn. Bloodstained Mire is not usually in Show and Tell decks. This is like Grixis control. What year is it? So if this is Grixis control, they're likely to Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push this Urza Saga. Or not Urza Saga, but the construct. Because that's the best thing they can do to fight it. Okay, yeah. If we're going 1-for-1 against Grixis control, I like those odds. Make a 2-2, or make a 1-1. It will soon be a 2-2 when I get Mox Opal. Kolaghan's Command is going to be good basically at every point in this game. I think I want to play Chalice this turn and not Emery, because their deck is full of cantrips, 1-drops, Thoughtseizes, Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt. So I think that is just a better use of my turn. Investing in the long term, because it's pretty hard to cheese out Grixis control. The deck is just so good at having answers to random shit, especially creatures. So I'm going to get this Chalice down and try to gain that virtual card advantage going along. If they have Kolaghan's Command, of course, I'm just wrecked. But it's actually not even that bad, because Construct will be a 3/3 even after they destroy Chalice. So K-Command isn't going to get 2 permanents out of play on me. Chalice resolved after some deliberation. They just ship the turn back. Give it to me. I can Karn and Emery on my turn. Emery should be the bait spell. Just lead on Emery and then jam Karn. Or Baleful Strix. I think they were probably considering Kolaghan's Command or holding up Force of Negation versus Baleful Strix. Alright, Emery, get in there. Now Kolaghan's Command can hit two permanents. Like 2 to Emery, destroy target artifact. This is a pretty big deal. But let's see what happens with this Karn. And I am playing the Scion of Urza first, because I can just flood the board with constructs. And this draws cards if we get slow. Alright, force pitching Narset, fair enough. I don't think I want to trade off my Strix or my construct for Strix yet. I think I want to keep threatening an attack. Yep, Kolaghan's Command all day. Okay, they're just sweeping up my creatures, ignoring the Chalice. I'm a little surprised by that, but cool. Fair enough. In that case, I'm glad I did not attack with the construct. So, Saga's in play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn. Karn the second. Oh, Force the second, okay. Alright, well, this Saga's gotta carry the day now, but luckily, it is the kind of card that can win a game by itself. There's a lot of cards that can win the game by themselves in this deck. That is what the deck is for. Wow, and they pitched Snapcaster Mage and Narset to those forces, so they just didn't even have cantrips at any point in this game. Alright, race is on. That Liliana will never defeat a construct at this stage of the game. I'm gonna sit on this cavern until I know what creature I'm drawing. So we've seen Narset, and we can assume they have discard, so I think their end step is the correct time to pop this Bauble. Which is kind of weird, but I think it is the right call. They don't get to attack here. Yeah, didn't think so. And then construct. And drawing a card is worth here. Okay, Narset's on top of their deck. Hopefully they shuffle that one. Draw an extra card. None of those were great. I get to Bauble again. I'm gonna get Bauble and pop it immediately before they have the Narset. So I could attack Liliana. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Attack Liliana. They get their block. Alright. I have one creature left. And this Petal. My end step and Bauble them again. See that Narset again. And I draw a card before they draw Narset. Alright, they shuffled her away. Perfect. Alright, found another Planeswalker. That's what we're looking for. Just keep ramming monsters onto the stack. They can pick up their Baleful Strix with Liliana here. But luckily Karn can maintain the construct pressure. They can pick up Strix multiple times with Liliana. So I probably just want to amass a board state before I make my next attack. Like, I can go wide around the Strix with 3 constructs are lethal. Oh, they had Narset anyway. Alright. Must play a lot of this card. Alright, they found a Brainstorm off Narset. Chalice finally doing something. Alright, so I can play Karn. And I think I just want to run out my city. Don't really need a whole lot at this point. And Karn can draw cards outside of Narset's purview. Like the Karn plus ability. And now if Baleful Strix attacks Karn, we have a lethal swing back. And if it doesn't, then I get to make another construct, and then I'm lethal the next turn. Right, Force of Will in hand. The permanent I want is already in play. If they have Kolaghan's Command, they can kill Karn this turn. Mill 2. Alright, they missed. Just didn't get a creature back. They were looking for Snapcaster Mage there to pick up Snapcaster, snap Kolaghan's Command. And now they're dead. Alright. Keep putting stuff on the stack. Grixis control was not built with Karn Prison in mind. Alright, I think I want Thought Monitor just in the deck. I think I also want Winter Orb just in the deck. This is exactly the kind of matchup Winter Orb is for, and I don't want to have to waste a Karn Wish on it. Flusterstorm is probably pretty good. Just like taking out a Kolaghan's Command. It's a big deal. You don't want to draw 2 Mox Opals against a grindy matchup like this. And now that the deck can tutor for them, it's even better. Sai is really good here. Emery's actually pretty bad here. She just dies to everything. But I can't go too low on it. I'm still going to have to overload their answers at some point. The baubles might be a liability with how many Narsets we saw them have. Maybe I just leave the Wishboard intact and bring in the 3 Flusters. Just leave Winter Orb and Thought Monitor right where they are. Actually, I think Thought Monitor should stay in the sideboard, but I'm thinking about Winter Orb and where I can get it in. Because that one is seriously a monster. I just don't know what the cut would be, because I want all my 4-drop bangers. I want my Tangle Wires. It's Sai or Emery if I bring in Winter Orb, but that starts to undermine the lower half of my curve. Because maybe Sai is cuttable. Winter Orb's in, Sai is out. Here we go. I have a Saga start with a quick Urza. Keeping this. I have a Bauble that I can get out of the way long before Narset could show up. They could have discard this game. They probably had discard game 1 too. They just didn't draw it when it mattered. Alright, yep, Thoughtseize confirmed. I suspect we're losing Urza here, unless they can't beat Tangle Wire, which is also entirely possible. Too bad this was a turn 2 Urza. And now he's gone. But between Fatal Push and Red Blast, Urza isn't the pillar of stability that he normally would be. Oh, I'm going to lead on the Saga here. And now that I have... the Opal is actually fine. Like, this is going to have Metalcraft, no problem. So I am just going to fire off my Bauble. I'm going to do it in their upkeep, though, because I want to... that lets me see what they draw, while also playing around discard. So they have a Brainstorm coming. Delta, fetch right away. Strix probably. Alright, Nullrod's pretty good too. Sure. Luckily, my hand is not the worst against Nullrod. Ooh, it just got even better. Okay, so I think I should hold these. No, I should play these out so my construct is as big as possible. Just get it out of bolt range. Or I guess it's still in exactly bolt range. There's the Strix. That answers one of the constructs. Right, construct. I think taking a turn off of Karn to make another construct is worth it. This matchup really isn't about speed, it's about power. I'm gonna grab another Bauble, because it doesn't matter. And then Seed of the Synod also doesn't matter, but at least it is an artifact in play. Alright, yeah, that Nullrod's pretty good, usually is. But checkmate, their Baleful Strix also can't be activated. I actually don't have a way in the deck to remove Nullrod, I'm just going to have to win through it. And I think that Tangle Wire is pretty good at doing that. Though them having the Nullrod as just a free permanent to tap makes Tangle Wire a lot worse. Getting rampaged. Yep. Okay, one of my constructs is dead. But still, they're making 1-for-1 spell trades for something that got multiple cards. Bummer. The Flusterstorm plan almost here to party, but instead it's just not. You have a force for me. Right, they did have a force, pitching Snapcaster Mage. Flusterstorm, oh wait, nice Nullrod. So I think that trading off with Strix makes sense here. And the reason is that I want them to have fewer permanents when I go for Tangle Wire. Oh, Narset's a good permanent. Though you can't tap Narset to Tangle Wire. Planeswalkers didn't exist when Tangle Wire was printed. Okay, that's a good one to draw. 1, 2. Guess I can save 2 life here and it's basically the same. Tangle. Let's just slow this game down. I'm looking for another cavern or one of my islands. Get Urza into play. So they have to tap their 3 lands and Nullrod here. They can activate Narset again. No, they have the land for Ponder too. Pretty good. They're running out of cards over there. I guess they still have their Narset activation, so they do get the full divination. They did not shuffle that Ponder. Ooh, a Narset missed. No shuffle, miss. Feel like they could have stacked that Ponder differently to make sure that didn't happen. All right, looking for Island or Cavern of Souls. Emery's also not bad here. She starts to loop Tangle Wires. I can't cast my Karns because I let City of Traders go. But yeah, basic Island is just best draw. I guess Emery doesn't actually help because I can't cast her. I can't cast that one either. Alright, chip it back. So they tap Null Rod and probably their 2 islands would be my guess. And they know it's in their hand better than I do. But that's what looks like it makes sense to me. Right, they tap their red source. That's good news for me. It means Kolaghan's Command's probably not going to happen this turn, but that might also mean they have a second Narset. Plague Engineer. Alright, so that probably names Thopters, so they haven't seen them yet. Okay, they're just naming Construct. Okay, Constructs will be much bigger than that by the time they matter. How about an island? That is not the island we were looking for. Seed of the Synod's in play again. Another one. Alright, Tangle Wire bought me a few turns here, but we're out of gas now. This is the last time it's going to tap anything, and even now it's just 1 Underground Sea. We're brainstorming to reload. An island still could bust this game open, because I'll get to resolve Urza guaranteed through the Cavern, and then I can make 5 and spin Urza once that turn right away, even if they can destroy him. Liliana can regrow Strix. And now we're actually on a clock. Tangle Wire taps itself, and can't cast that one. Merfolk Wizard, nope. Yeah, we're starting to run out of gas, but they are down to 2 cards in their hand. I think they should minus Liliana, get Strix. Oh, they didn't even activate Liliana. Fair enough. Alright, come on, deck. Time for that island. I would take a City of Traders as well. Just let me cast one of these spells. But island is the one I actually want. Yes! Better late than never. Not going to complain. Uncounterable Urza will arrive, will bring a construct, and will get to spin at least once. Okay, so turn my artifacts back on. Why would I spin when I can cast Karn? Or I should cast Emery, and then I can cast Karn. And then Flusterstorm's pretty high up. Alright, I'm just going to cast all my spells. I'm like, spin for a random card when there's 2 good spells in my hand already. Slow down. Do it right. Stop it. Karn. So, Storm is 4 right now. So even if they find a Force of Will, if they try to hard cast it, I get to Fluster. Urza is so nutso-busto. So, create a 0/0 colorless artifact construct token. That's what I want to do. Alright, now I'm passing the turn holding up Flusterstorm. And they have a lot of mana, so Flusterstorm's not great here, but it's not bad either. It's not nothing. They have like an end-step Kolaghan's Command. I'm gonna clean house. Yes! Boom! Urza versus Nullrod, dual decks. Choose your hero. I choose Urza, by the way. Alright, so that's gone. There's not a Snapcaster Mage in their graveyard to regrow with Liliana. They can regrow Baleful Strix for a redraw at least, and to put some material on the board. Tangle Wire taps nothing. Emery can play Winter Orb out of the graveyard next turn. And that should start pinching what they're capable of. Like I can Winter Orb out of the graveyard, spin Urza at least once, maybe twice. Mill 2. I think Baleful Strix is the only creature in the graveyard. Yep. Strix. So they have 2 Death Touch creatures to match my 2 7/7s. But I do have a better card advantage engine than they do at this point. Nullrod slowed me down, but can't be stopped. Right, so my Tangle Wire dies. I guess I could spin with Urza right now, use this blue mana. I think I should do that, if I haven't passed priority and blown it already. Because I'm going to do that anyway, and this is just a free mana sitting around. Alright, nope, blew it. I couldn't remember if fading was a trigger, like when the last counter is gone, or if it's a like game state action. Alright, so I'm going to start with Chalice on 1. Let's just get that out of the way. You have anything? Red Blast, whatever. I think if they had anything, though, they would have cast it already. Maybe I should have activated Karn first, because now this lets... I think they would have Lightning Bolted Karn already if they had that. Alright, so Winter Orb's coming out. Is Winter Orb better than Tangle Wire? I think so. I mean, they're pretty good together, actually. Yeah, so maybe I cast Tangle Wire. And then, after they've tapped a few lands to it, I'll bring out the Winter Orb next turn. And do I want to draw a card with Karn or just make another construct? I think I want to continue with the constructs, because if they attack Karn with Baleful Strix, that's a blocker they don't have. Make sure this still works when it's tapped. Yes, alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be careful with that Ancient Tomb. I don't want to get cheesed out by damage somehow. Another Urza. Keep the Urge, get another construct. Alright. My shit is large and in charge at this point. And I have a lethal attack around the 2 Death Touch creatures next turn. They have to tap Null Rod and 3 lands, probably. And I suspect they want all their lands at this point in the game. I do have a YOLO play, by the way. If they have some spell, I could tap Ancient Tomb and my 3 constructs to spin Urza and try to hit one of my 2 Flusterstorms left in the deck. I don't know what spell that would be. I don't know if they just have like a Shatterstorm in their deck, Hurkyl's Recall. So I do have a YOLO play. Alright, so they're making Emry smaller. Irrelevantly. Okay, so Tangle Wire does its thing. We tangle the Tangle Wire, Chalice, and Bauble. Opal, I already have one of those. Time to plus Karn. Reveal 2. I get one of them. The other goes into exile. Where are these cards right now? Alright, Chalice of the Void is the other one. I don't really want either of those. So, Winter Orb with Emry. Orb's in play now. Might as well play this land, they've seen it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, can't use the Winter Orb. Alright, I'm just going to attack with my constructs. Attack opponent, 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 opponent. If they do have, like, Kolagon's command, they can survive at 4 life this turn. The Snapcaster Mage could block. Oh, Brazen Bar is actually a really good one. Fair enough. Alright. You've been borrowed. Alright, they survive at 4 for the turn. And then Liliana can regrow. Oh, they're conceding. Okay, I was about to say they can regrow Baleful Strix, but the secret prison plan that's been happening behind my insane construct beatdown plan the whole time has finally, they've met in the middle and finally left my opponent dead with no mana to make the sweet plays they could make. That was a great match. Next round's coming. On the play in the 3rd round, we have a turn 1 Emry. Don't have the turn 1 Chalice. Turn 1 Emry, turn 2 Chalice, or turn 2 Sai. Yeah, this is a good hand. Turn 1 Emry is keepable by itself, and then the fact that we got this other stuff going on is pretty great. Tangle Wire is looming. The best card. Seat of the Synod, Mox Opal, Emry, here we go. Dang. What are we playing against? Alright, hit my Winter Orb and Chalice in the graveyard. So I could play Chalice from the graveyard without giving away the one in my hand. Ooh. Enchantress, okay. So I think I want to Chalice this turn, Tangle Wire next, or is it Sai? First Sai and then Tangle Wire? I'm going to need to Tangle Wire eventually. I think I'm going to Sai this turn. And I could Chalice for 0 to get a token. I don't actually think this is necessarily a good play, but I do think that, like, my deck has a lot of 0s and I care about them, but Sai, like, this Tangle Wire line could end the game pretty quickly, and if I draw a mana source, I get Urza plus Tangle Wire. So this is a pretty big deal. Just need to survive this turn, and then I can tangle them. Right, I'll go with the Enchantress, so we're going to have another Wild Growth effect here. Right, Abundant Growth draws 2. That's even better. But it doesn't make mana, it just fixes it. But yeah, when you pile up a bunch of stuff on the same land, you end up getting hit by Tangle Wire even harder. So I can actually just so I can Tangle Wire and then Chalice on 0 3 times. That's actually insane. All right. I'm going to play the Wire, get this trigger. Chalice on 0 gets countered by my first Chalice on 0, but I get a Psy token. And then I can do it again. And then with Emery, I can do it again. This is crazy. All right, Storm is 4. And I'm going to attack with my 2 creatures. They're going to go to their turn, tap all of their things, and then they're going to do it again on the following turn. And by then I'll have Chalice on 1 in play to counter their wild growths. That was not a bad turn 3. So fade, and then tap the Tangle Wire, the Chalice, and one of the Thoppies. I guess tapping Psy is probably better than tapping a Thopter, because they attack for the same amount, but the Thopters tap for mana with Urza. Alright, that didn't end up mattering, but that's okay. Chalice of the Void on 1. That actually does have text in the matchup, unlike everything else I've done. Or the other Chalices anyway. I've done a lot of things with text in the matchup. Right, they missed their land drop, so the Tangle Wire is just a full double time walk. And then I'm going to play Winter Orb next turn, so they're not going to be able to... They're going to get to untap one thing, and then it's going to get tapped instantly by the Tangle Wire. Oh, Abrupt Decay on Tangle Wires. That's actually not even good, because I can just replay it with Emery. It was probably better off in play for them. Elephant Grass. Alright, that gets countered by Chalice, but they get to draw a card. So I'm just going to go to my turn. If I draw a mana source, I jam Urza into play. Alright, did not draw a mana source. So I'm just going to replay Tangle Wire at full strength, and then attack for a bunch. Alright, they still only have 4 permanents. This is messed up. Didn't even need Urza Saga this one. Yeah, so I'm attacking for 7 twice. 7 once, and then 8 the second time, and they're getting time walked in between. I don't think there's an out. Tangle Fire. Tangle Wire is no fun for you, and lots of fun for me. Wow. The flawless victory. They were behind from turn 1. Alright, playing against Enchantress, though, is kind of scary. A Lattice can beat them eventually. Flusterstorm doesn't do anything. Leyline doesn't matter. I think this is a 0 sideboard situation. I could bring in Winter Orb, but that's not even necessarily going to be good because they do have all the wild growths and stuff. Like 1 land could represent many mana, especially with Serra Sanctum. So Tangle Wire and Chalice of the Void are my important cards here. And I'm just going back in with the same deck. Nothing changes. This hand is not disruptive, particularly. I'm still going to keep it, though. Not going to mulligan a hand with this much gas. This hand does hit hard, though. So Utopia Sprawl, the normal start from them. If I find a Tangle Wire at any point, I'm pretty excited. Ooh, what does that do? Opal is really good. I think that makes me want to Ancient Tomb pass. Yeah, I can turn to Karn, or turn to Psy and make 2 Thopters. Probably just want a Karn, though. There's a good chance they have Stony Silence in their deck at this point, but let's hope that we can get under it. We'll draw 2 off of Abundant Growth. Seeing Abrupt Decay game 1 is also pretty cool. That's not a card that's always an Enchantress. Alright, so I think ramming Karns down their throat is the best way to play this game. Like, if I can just start destroying their lands with the... whatever that card is called. I'm brain farting. Liquid Metal Coating. Yeah, if I can just start coating their lands, they're gonna die real quick. Liquid Metal Coating's in hand. Let's go. They need, like, Stony Silence right now, basically. Where the game is over. I'm gonna leave my Bauble in play. If they Stony Silence, obviously, I'll Bauble in response, but I think having artifacts in play right now is worth more than a random card off the top of my deck. because my hand is already full of bangers. Like, the only card I'd even want to draw is Tangle Wire, but I don't want to risk turning off my Opal, because I'm kind of in on it right now. Sithis Harvest Sand, fresh from Modern Horizons 2. Kasali Pride Mage. Alright, that's good, but it is a little late to the party. Ooh, that's nice. We've never seen that happen before. Love it. Okay, so can I... How much mana do I have? 5. That's not enough to Liquid Metal Coating. No, it's not even close to enough to do everything I want. But, so I can Urza Saga, and I can play Psy and start bubbling up this board. Like, I could cast Psy, trigger, or I could have the backup Karn. I think I want Psy, though. I don't want them to be able to just muscle through my Planeswalker, or through combat into my Planeswalker. So I'm going to Liquid Metal Coating their Forest with the white Utopia Sprawl on it. Turn it into a creature and it dies. Mishra's Bauble, get another Thopter. So they're going to have to use their Pride Mage on probably the Liquid Metal Coating. There is a line to get it back, though, so bear with me. So if they destroy Liquid Metal Coating, I can minus this Karn, get Tormod's Crypt myself, and then wish for Liquid Metal Coating with this Karn, because this gets cards out of the game or in exile. And I can exile my own thing with a little bit of work. Alright, so they're attacking Karn, probably, yeah. So I'm gonna block with my 1/4 creature. Rather than chump with a Thopter. Like, there's a possibility that they have, like, Seal of Fire or something in their deck, but I'm gonna make them have it. There's no free lunches on my watch. Zenith for 2. Is this another Enchantress, or do they have more technology? Collect Roof. Okay, that's really good. Fair enough. So Saga ticks up here. Karn, what does Karn do? I should view my sideboard before I'm already wishing. I can get Thought Monitor for the future. I could get Winter Orb, which does not require activation. I think I just want to wish for Thought Monitor, though. Though I don't really have a good path to actually do anything with that. Ensnaring Bridge hurts me more than helps me. None of these other cards have text. Actually, maybe I just want to wish for the... I could wish for the Lattice just to have it ready if I draw Karn, though I think Thought Monitor is going to be better. Alright, yeah, if I draw Urza, I meant, which I'm also not even close to casting right now. Beatdown mode, here they come. Kasali Pride Mage can destroy Urza's Saga, because it's an enchantment, worth noting. They can kill Karn in combat. No, yeah, with Sithis also attacking, they can kill Karn in combat this turn. Alright, Green Sun Zenith for Collector Roof is a beating. Just got overpowered again. I have 2 more Karns in my hand, so a City of Traders or Ancient Tomb off the top gets another Planeswalker into play. They're drawing millions of cards. Destiny Spinner. Alright, that'll end the game pretty quick. But I do have Thopters to chump with for a while. So if they attack Karn with Oof, Kasali Pride Mage, and Sithis, I will lose Karn this turn. But they'll lose Pride Mage, because I'm going to make a construct, and before I can block and kill the Oof with it, they're going to have to sack it. Sack Pride Mage. Ooh, no attacks. Just letting me have it. Construct. If I draw a land that taps for 1 mana, then I'm not going to make a second construct with Urza Saga. I'm going to make mana so I can cast Karn Scion. Just think that's going to do more for the game. Okay. Well, I didn't do that, so I'm just going to make another construct. Construct. And I guess I'll get another... I'll get Lotus Petal, actually. It doesn't matter while Oof's in play, but it could matter someday. Are there any artifacts that I can animate? I can turn Liquid Metal Coating into a 2/2. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. Lotus Petal does trigger Psy, and Yeah, I mean, it turns this into a body in play. It doesn't matter if it's an artifact or a body, really. So I can attack with my 12/12 and my flyers. I expect Kasali Pride Mage to eat the 12/12. Then they got to deal with the other one. Oh god, Endurance. Okay, so they get to eat one of my... This is a weird Enchantress deck, and I'm here for it. They're sort of like Enchantress Maverick. Like a hybrid of the two. This is really cool what they're doing. They did use all their mana, though, to do that, so they had to take a big crunch from the construct, which they don't seem too broken up about. At some point there will be a prison lock where like they solitary confinement me out of the game or something, and I'd really like to draw City of Traders and get Karn Scion into play before that happens. Yeah, they're drawing 2 cards and gaining 1 life every enchantment they cast right now. And they have 7 enchantments, not quite big enough to fight a construct yet, but still pretty good. Doomwake Giant, okay, that's gonna kill me. That's gonna wipe out my Thopters immediately. If they have another one, it's gonna wipe out Liquid Metal Coating. And in their 8-card hand, I expect they can probably cast a spell. Caracas, that can bounce Psy. And that's what it did. Alright, this one's falling apart quick. They are this cool Enchantress Maverick hybrid right now. They have a significantly more robust Green Sun Zenith package than normal. And I haven't seen Endurance in these decks before either. So really cool stuff going on here. Alright, City of Traders. Oh, Georgia City of Traders. That's what I want. Does it matter is the question. So I'm gonna attack with my 9/9s. I guess I can make them 10/10s before combat if I make this second Karn, the Karn Scion. Not sure if being 9/9s versus 10/10s matters a whole lot here, but I'd make a Thoppy, or a construct, whatever these things are. There are 2 lethal attackers coming your way. They have 1 mana for the Kasali Pride Mage, so they can block one with Pride Mage, sack it, kill the other one, and take 0 here. Okay. Okay, they can take 0, lose Endurance, and take out all 3 constructs. Maybe that's a reason to wait till second. Okay, or not. Alright. Confusing. I mean, they know their plan better than I do, but any of those things would have been good enough. So I'm going to animate my Liquid Metal Coating again, just being a body. The Doomwake Giant probably means that animating Liquid Metal Coating will just kill it. But I do want to make them do stuff. God, they made black mana. A second Doomwake Giant. Yeah, we're out of here. Okay. I've seen enough. You win this one. Alright, so I gotta come out a lot faster, and I need to plan for a Maverick kind of deck. So, Flusterstorm is really good against Green Sun Zenith, but if they just naturally draw the oof, that's a big oof, as they say. I think I need to just... I'm not gonna bring in counter spells. I need to just focus on my prison elements. Like, I kept a hand hoping to outmuscle them with no disruption, but I actually... like, the Chalice Tangle Wire kind of stuff is going to be really important to the game plan. Like, even more so now that I know what they're up to. And we are gifted with a hand of turn 1 Chalice. I'm going to Chalice on 1 rather than Emery on 1, because getting ahead of their wild growths is a big part of the game. And I have Emery Bauble, so I'm going to draw 2 cards a turn for a while. If I draw any mana source off of my Bauble and draw step, I can have turn 2 Karn. Leyline of the Void. Okay. Emery just got a little worse. Well, a lot worse. Good thing I had a backup plan. Opal, Bauble, Battle, Chalice on 1. Alright, well, yeah, I'm not gonna cast the Emery now that they've done this, but I could have had Emery and Chalice on turn 1 in a different world. Oh, alright, they just drew a second Leyline of the Void. Nice. Alright, mana source. 2 draws to find 1. Alright, got there. Got there hard. Wow. Okay. Urza Saga. Karn Saga. Karn. This is a good start. I think it's safe to say. There's a 3/3. Next turn, it'll be a 5/5 before it attacks, and it'll have a friend. Do they have Abrupt Decay or Sithis? Argothian Enchantress? Alright, Destiny Spinner, sure. So Saga ticks up. Another Karn. Not bad. Another Construct. Another Construct. Attack for 6. Oh, this is nasty. Guess I might as well cast Emery. Just it's material on the battlefield, even though the mill 4 doesn't do anything. I don't think I have a way to remove Leyline, but don't think I care either. At least pretend I have something. Milled Urza and 3 lands. Yeah, whatever. Alright, that's can't be countered. Destiny Spinner, beating Chalice of the Void, like you read about, and passing the turn into dead on board. Are they dead? Urza, that's a good one. Alright, I'm going to activate this, make another construct. I'm going to search up I think I want Lotus Petal. I think I just want mana in this situation, because I have lots of cards. Plus Karn. Karn exiled 2 Urza Sagas? Is that what just happened? Or is this in a different game zone? Oh, Ancient Tomb and Sai are being exiled. They gave me the Ancient Tomb, which seemed like a good play until I cast Urza. I'm going to do it second main. I net -1 artifact. Alright, yeah. So Emery can attack because they have to block the constructs, and I think they're dead anyway. I guess they could Abrupt Decay. If they Abrupt Decay 1, yeah, alright, that's the play. Abrupt Decay 1, still have to block 1 with the other, and Emery gets to get in for a cheeky point. Bang. Then second main. Blue. Blue. Urza. Non-stop bangers over here. And 3 mana to work with, which is not enough to cast the other Karn. Alright, go. It's turn 4. This is what my board looks like. I guess something like Solitary Confinement could buy some time, or if they have, like, a sweeper of some kind. Alright, I mean, Oof is already dead and gone, and Kasali Pridemage doesn't do it. I can't think of a green 2-drop that helps here. They're dead to 4 different attackers, plus I have a Planeswalker and Urza both chunking. Yeah, they agreed. Alright, got the concession, outmuscled them that time. Though Chalice of the Void did have a prison element with heavy muscling, so that was great. On to the next one. On the draw, in round number 4, I have a turn 1 Emery with a turn 2 Karn. This is a keep. I guess the turn 2 Karn isn't a lock. I need Emery to hit a 0 or draw a 0 in my first 2 draw steps. Or I just get Thoughtseized and it doesn't matter. So I'm hoping that this is some sort of like Pox or Control deck and not Reanimator. That's what I gotta hope for here, because I'm not set up at all to deal with a Reanimator style deck. But this deck should outgrind Pox or Control most of the time. I hope they take Karn, honestly. But if they take Karn, they might be setting up like a brutal Smallpox. Here I am planning around Smallpox. I spend too much time in the Leaving a Legacy Facebook group where everyone plays Pox. Alright, they did take Karn. That makes me a little worried. But Emery is an easier to answer permanent than Karn for basically every deck that exists. So I guess that's not super shocking. Alright, so I did put a Chalice in the bin. Here we go. Moment of truth. Am I getting reanimated? Yep. Alright. So Vilis is coming into play, and it's the Storm build, so we might just die right now. Here it goes. Yeah, I was not ready for this, especially on the draw. I might win this game on the play. Like, if I play this Emery, they Thoughtseize me, and then they take Karn, and then I put Chalice on 1 into play here. Like, just this same game with me on the play actually looks pretty reasonable. Oh, they're passing the turn. Cool. They unmasked my hand with no cards in it. And then... Alright, so I'm going to play Saga. Start moving ahead on that. Then I'm going to play the Chalice on 1. And Vilis is pretty scary, but their life total is low. And it's hard for them to combo out without 1s. Though, maybe 0s are more important? I don't know. Hard to tell. Archon of Cruelty. Oh god. Yikes. Well, that's a good one. That dodges the entire game of racing, the Grizzlebrand, etc. Yeah, Villas is really good. It's just like Grizzlebrand, except you got all the cards right now and you don't need to pay an extra 7. Animate Dead on Archon. I'm gonna lose my Emery here, and I have to discard a card. And they gain life. Yeah, a lot of stuff here is not going my way. It's safe to say. Take 8, which puts me to 9, and then they're attacking for way more than I have next turn. Okay. Or unmasking me a third time. It says a lot about a matchup when your opponent can unmask you twice, missing both times. That's a 4 for 0, and you're still just dead by a mile. Alright, playing against a combo deck. So I looked at the ley lines when I was setting up to record this league. I looked at the ley lines and I was like, do I really need all of those? And right now I'm glad I have them. So I want to leave the Tormod's Crypt in the board to wish for with Karn. Like if I just pay 4 mana, wish for a 0, put it into play, that's a thing I can do. In the meantime, Leyline and Flusterstorm will buy some time. This Karn is not great. Winter Orb is terrible. I do want all of my fast mana. I want Tangle Wire. That's the sort of thing that can actually beat a Grizzlebrand. Sai is kind of medium. Emery is actually cool because she mills me. Though actually that might be a problem, because if they reanimate my Urza, that's embarrassing, but if they cast Exhume and I get an Urza back, that's cool. Oh, I'll think about that. Maybe I don't want as many of that. Actually, I think Karn Scion is pretty medium minus here. Sai can absorb a lot of damage and buy a lot of time against their flying idiots. Though, like I said, it's a good chance they're a Tendrils version. I don't know if just stock attack you to death Reanimator has adopted Villas. In the past, I've only seen that in the Storm builds. I don't know. Right, can I go lower on Urza? Is that important? Though Urza's a card I can tap out for and still hold up Flusterstorm because it makes the construct, which taps for 1, so that's kind of valuable. 3 cards still gotta go here. Alright, Karn Scion, I think, is among the worst here. And I just really need my fast mana, unfortunately. Maybe it is an Urza, but I do need to win the game somehow. Alright. I'm just shaving my expensive cards, and with the trust that I will either be in control of the game by the time I find one, or I would lose anyway. Okay, keep this. I have a Leyline of the Void, and a turn 1 Chalice on 1, and a Flusterstorm. I guess I don't get all of those things. I have some of those things. So I get the Leyline, and I can play Chalice, or I can hold up Flusterstorm. And I think Chalice is where I want to be, because that answers most of the things I would want a Flusterstorm. I guess if they have Force of Vigor, I would actually much rather not put Chalice into play. That's actually a pretty interesting decision to make. I'm going to name Human on this. But they did mull to 4. So is it better to counter something? Right, I'm actually just going to pass with the Flusterstorm up. Because if I spend my only blue source casting Chalice, and then they just Force of Vigor hitting Chalice and Leyline, I am dead. DED. So I don't think... Is it time to invest in Saga? Yeah, I think it is. Alright, Saga's in play. And then I can play Chalice off of that. Now I have a win condition lined up, still holding up Fluster. The first copy of Flusterstorm, like the original, will get countered by Chalice, but the Storm copies will still come through. Right, I don't think I want to Emery here. I guess I should, because I can just replay the Lotus Petal if I need to. So I'm going to name Merfolk on this one. Right, and here's Emery. If this mills Urza and gives them something to reanimate, it's going to be kind of a tilt. Alright, that didn't happen. Alright, I think we're good. Dodge the worst of it. Still holding up Flusterstorm. And I'm going to spend my Petal in the end step to make a construct, because I can replay Petal with Emery on my turn. And then another one. Tutor up. I think I want Mox Opal. Yeah, just having mana available seems pretty important here. Can't cast the Tangle Wire this turn, which would end the game. Or, yeah. I can get up to 3 mana, but can't cast the Tangle. And I'm not going to tap out a Flusterstorm to cast Sai here, because it just doesn't matter. They're dead on board anyway. Alright. Some powerful sideboard cards backed by a quick clock is what we needed. So now they've seen Leyline, they know what to expect for game 3, and now we're on the draw, so it's going to be really important to mulligan aggressively for Leyline, or just have one in the opening 7, which is obviously in my preferential situation. And I never had to show them the Flusterstorm, so they don't necessarily know to play around that. Alright, same deck, back in. This hand is very much not a keeper. Not even sure I would keep this if we weren't playing against Reanimator. Alright, so I have turn 1, Emery and Chalice. My opponent kept 7 though. So if they Thoughtseize me, I could be in trouble. Or if they just have a turn 1 thing. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this. Chasing that Leyline. Oh god. It's getting worse. Still chasing Leyline. I'm going to 4. Okay, keep. Put 3 cards on the bottom. Sai. Island. And I guess the other Sai probably. Not ideal, but here we are. Put them on the bottom. They revealed Chancellor, I revealed Leyline. Let's go. Luckily, the way my hand lines up, I wasn't gonna cast... Like, this Emery will cost 2 next turn, and I was gonna have a mana wasted anyway, so the Chancellor actually does not affect me at all. So I could play Seat of the Synod and save 2 life. Yeah, that's fine. This also plays around Chancellor. Alright, we've popped the Chancellor bubble. Emery hit Emery and Chalice, so I can Chalice next turn. If they cast Exhume, I get another reanimate, or I get another Emery. They could reanimate my Emery, but then they just mill 4 and their thing's gone. Okay, sure. So they get my Emery. They mill 4, but Leyline does exile them. So it's just a 0/2. I don't mind that at all. Oh. Should I invest in a Chalice for the turn, or should I jam Urza and try to win this game? I think I'm going to jam Urza and try to win this game. There we go, Urza. Cast Mox Opal from the graveyard. I guess I could have cast Chalice on 0 as well, because they do have Lotus Petals and stuff. Really glad they didn't animate my Urza. Right, they're just passing the turn. No land, no play, nothing. City of Traders. Chalice of the Void for 1. Should lock a lot of stuff out. Here's Lotus Petal. Then Urza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin Urza. Lotus Petal. That grows my construct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, yeah, that's not enough. Alright, in with construct. Alright, gotta dodge Serenity for a couple turns here. So they did just take 7, so Reanimate just got a lot worse, even if they draw it. They just found a line to Bayou. If they have the Reverent Silence, they can clear Leyline, but they still have to get through Chalice, and they have nothing in their graveyard. Tangle Wire is pretty good. Alright, so I can get 2 mana off Lotus Petal if I use Emery. Does that matter? Yeah, probably. It's free. So blue, replay this. Blue, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin Urza. Alright, Flusterstorm, just in case. That's ready, in case they try to disrupt me this turn. 1, 2, 3. Tangle Wire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, 1 short of going again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you have to sack Lotus Petal, so not getting there this time. Oh, they're just conceding! We did it. Defeated Reanimator on the strength of Leyline. Don't be afraid of that Multifor when you have sideboard cards that potent. GG's, on to the final round. In the draw, on the final round, we're playing against Tony Scapone, who has been on a big Ruby Storm kick lately. That's kind of his deck that he's adopted and made his own. Karn, the Great Creator, is insane against his particular build. He has sort of an epic Ruby Storm, but this hand does not produce the Karn fast enough, so I'm going to ship it. Alright, this one can Tangle Wire to buy time, but I don't love this either. I could mulligan to a Chalice of the Void, and Karn is so good. Also, Tony has a donation deck in the queue. In fact, it is the Epic Ruby Storm, so stay tuned to the channel if you want to see that. It's coming out in a week or two. So I think I have to mulligan this as well. If it cast any of the blue cards, I would have kept it. Alright, this one's much better. Alright, Karn Scion is not what I'm looking for here, and it's awkward to ship Island but keep Urza, but I think that is the right... No, I think shipping Urza keep Island is better. Because I do have Sai and Emery in the deck. So I have turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Karn, which, if I get 2 turns, and if he's actually on Ruby Storm, that's going to be pretty good. Basic Mountain is... and LED. Okay, there's that. Alright, cool. Just running those out. So the question is, what number do I put Chalice on? Is it 0 or is it 1? 1 gets Rite of Flame, and that's about it. 0 gets... Okay, yeah, I'm actually going to run it on 0. And then I can Karn next turn. So he's got a combo through a Chalice on 0 before next turn when Karn shuts down everything. And could just take us for a spin with Echo of Eons right now. Defense Grid. Yeah, that's not my plan. Okay, cool. We're going to get to Karn. This is why knowing the matchup helps a lot. I would have just kept that first hand and died. But instead I mulligan into the literal nuts. Alright, I'm going to just knock out that Lion's Eye Diamond. Not that that's really necessary. And I'm not going to play my Bauble because I have a Chalice on 0. And if I draw a Soul Land, I can Lattice next turn. And if I don't, I can just... Oh, let's see. Alright, I'm going to play Saga. Oops. Yeah, City of Traders is going to go. But I'm going to float mana and do something with Karn here. Yeah, getting Saga into play is worth it anyway. Winter or Tormod's Crypt, Spyglass, Lattice. I'm going to wish for the Coding and start taking out lands next turn. So get Liquid Metal Coating, play Liquid Metal Coating. And so I can use Liquid Metal Coating as Rishadan Port this turn. Just turn one of the lands into an artifact in the upkeep, so it can't use it for mana for the turn. And then next turn I actually start destroying lands outright. I'm going to go after the basic mountain. Don't want him to be able to draw a card in response. Though I guess that would tap him out for the turn. And if you're going to spend mana, I want you to hurt for it with the Fiery Islet. Alright, scooped it up. Yeah, knowing how to mulligan, huge deal there. We would have lost that game on 7, we would have lost that game on 6, but the 5 was an utter. Okay. Into the sideboard we go. I don't think Leyline is where I want to be against the deck. Sorceress Spyglass is actually pretty good. I think this deck has Wishclaw Talisman in it. I actually don't remember. Should have paid better attention. But Flusterstorm definitely comes in. Winter Orb comes out. This is a combo deck. I want my mana more than they do. Well, they want mana, but it's not coming from lands. So Karn the Great Creator is among the best cards. Karn Scion of Urza is pretty slow. Tangle Wire is excellent. Just tapping down all their lands before they can even get rituals on the stack is how you do it. I don't think I want the ley lines. Echo is part of their plan, like the Lion's Eye Diamond Urza Echo, or Echo of Eons. I'm the Urza deck, not them. But I think that I don't need to specifically answer that. I could bring in Spyglass, but I don't think I actually want to. Alright, this is my deck. Just +3 Flusterstorm. I have to be a prison deck, basically. Ruby Storm is not very good at turn oneing, though the Epic Ruby Storm might be better. Ooh. This, having the 2 Flusterstorms is pretty interesting, because I don't think that's going to be the plan. Like, there's a good chance that the defense grids just got cut here. Did I show any indication that Yeah, I think I only played colorless cards last game. I played Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, Urza Saga, Karn, Chalice. Yeah, so hasn't even seen blue mana. Might think I'm like a colorless stompy deck. So I am going to keep this Flusterstorm, man. Alright, looks like we're just echoing. Taking a spin. Spun me into Chalice. Deal. I don't have Force Will in the deck to mulligan for anyway. Like, nothing I can do on turn 0. And Flusterstorm would be a cool draw here. Oh, that's even better. Alright, so now I can Chalice on 1 and 0. I'm going to go for the 1 first. So then I can play the Lotus Petal. And then I can Chalice on 0. And I can Karn next turn and start beating down. And Burning Wish for Cave-In or for Meltdown are all good. Uh-oh, this is looking awkward over there. So I can save a bunch of life if I go with City of Traders, and like every time I tap Ancient Tomb is a copy of Tendrils or a copy of Grape Shot that they don't need to storm. Alright, I'm just going to start beating. Really wish I had Flusterstorm in my hand for this Lotus Petal. That would be the perfect juke, because there's no way that he thinks for 1 second that I'm a blue deck. The way that these games have played out, especially showing Karn Scion, that is a totally different thing that is not in most Urza Echo decks. Alright, I'm just going to make another construct and attack. I'm actually not going to play a land or do anything right now. Like, if I draw an Urza or Sai or whatever, I have the mana to cast it, but I think hiding that I'm a blue deck is worth doing for at least a little while. Alright, Burning Wish probably for Cave-In, and I might just lose here. Shattering Spree. Okay, so that's a next turn play. Time to draw Flusterstorm for real. Sai Master Thopterist. Okay, so time to plus Karn. This might reveal what I'm actually doing. Oh, there's the Flusterstorm. Fuck my life. Now he knows about Flusterstorm and gets to play around it for a turn. Okay, so I'm gonna go City of Traders. Urza Saga. I'm gonna cast Sai off of the Lotus Petal. And then gotta win next turn because I'm gonna wish for the Flusterstorm and just have Flusterstorm up. Oh, and he's just literally done on board. So if the Shattering Spree can take out... So Chalice will counter the original Shattering Spree. So it gets to clear the 1s or the 0s. So if he casts Shattering Spree, replicates it on Chalice for 0, then just goes 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, storm you, then I could actually lose this game in that fashion. But he needs to be able to Shattering Spree with these 2 mana, and then still have enough mana to combo after that. But I guess that depends on how many 0s are locked in the hand right now. This is a tight one, and this is the pivotal turn. One of us is dead this turn. This game is not going to last much longer. Alright, Manamorphose. Alright, that's a freebie. Just get another look. Get a little deeper. We got GG's in the chat. Must not be able to get there. Oh, making the play anyway. Alright, taking out the Chalice on 1. I prefer that, actually, I think. Though, I don't know. I mean, we got the GG's, but he's still casting spells, so I don't know if that's just... Alright, yeah, and still conceded. Yeah, had to win this turn, because next turn, Karn can minus to get the Flusterstorm into my hand. Because this is just waiting. Has to be this turn. You can't clear the Chalices, then win next turn, and then I get a draw step plus Fluster, and you're just dead on board. On top of it, my draw step was Karn! Yeah, had that one beat. And that was 100% about knowing whether to mulligan or not, just knowing what your opponent's on. That comes with the territory of being a deck specialist. Like, A, you're really good with your deck, and B, everyone knows what you're playing. So, rough stuff for Tony Scaponi, but good for me, because that is a 4-1 with Urza Saga Prison. Urza Saga is as we expected, just slots right into this deck. It's like butter on bread. Like this deck was just waiting for another alternate win condition or another hard to deal with win condition, and it just it did what we wanted it to. There were games where we're just like Urza Saga, Ancient Tomb, bang bang. Then there were games that went a lot longer, like that one against Grixis Control where I was like pressuring their life total with constructs while Emery was quietly assembling a hard lock with Tangle Wire and Winter Orb. That game was just, chef's kiss. I think that was my favorite game of the league, but we had a lot of good ones. Tangle Wire just showing up and just time walking Enchantress 3 times while we killed them with constructs. Dirty business. Beat 2 combo decks, beat a couple of fair decks, and that was a good spread all around. So very close. This deck could 5-0. I'm just saying, like, we 4-1'd, and the match that we lost, I honestly don't remember what it was at this point, but I feel like we were in it a little bit. And this deck has potential. Urza is an insane Magic card. Karn Great Creator is an insane Magic card. Urza Saga is an insane Magic card. And then how you support it in between is up to you. But this deck is really powerful. Thank you, Resident of Seattle, for asking me to play it again. Thanks for sharing the original list with me. And then thanks for firing it back in with this Urza Saga upgrade. This was an absolute delight to record. I hope you all had fun watching it. If you have thoughts about the list, thoughts about how I played it, anything, go to the comments. That's what they're for. I try to respond to everything constructive. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel while you're here. And I will see you all next time.